Hello YouTube, Lucky Man over here, and today we are gonna take a look the third ship from Tempesta event that has now passed away. And this is the other ship that was hunting Blackbeard on his adventure. And this is the ship that was actually part of Maynard's fleet alongside the Pearl. This is HMS Lyme. Now I was doing my best to find information about this ship, and the closest I can actually theorize is probably HMS Lyme for 1695, because it closely ties up with the ship, the Blackbeard's final years. Was it 70s or 1780s? But this is the closest I can actually find about which type of HMS Lyme who was part of hunting Blackbeard. According to this, there is 4 types of limes. There's English ship Lyme 1654, that is 52 gun third rate, that was renamed Montagu in 1660s. Then there is HMS Lyme 1695, that is 20 gun 6th rate. I had to actually check out what is 6th rate, and I have to say personally it is not bad ship. It is decently good looking one. Then there is HMS Lyme on 7040s, that is 24 gun 6 rate. There is not much information about that one. I haven't checked that one yet very deeply, because after that there is now HMS Lyme 1748, and remember Blackbeard perished in 70s or 1780s. I need to recheck that information again. Let me check that just real quick, if I can actually find the Blackbeard. Yes. Blackbeard died in 22 November 1780s. And I believe that it's probably in Lyme, HMS Lyme from 1695, 20 gun 6 rate that we are now looking at here. As for her history, she was part of the Maynard's fleet that consisted Pearl and Lyme, and together they were hunting Blackbeard. Blackbeard had to abandon his Queen Anne's Revenge thanks to how it was looking, because everyone actually knowing how the Queen Anne's Revenge looked, so Blackbeard had to abandon it and then transfer himself and his crew, probably some of it, to the other ship that is then named Adventure. And Lyme and Pearl together, well, part of their crew were transferred to the 2 sloops, and they were, was it Jane and Ranger? And then they faced off Blackbeard and his Adventure, and during that confrontation Blackbeard perished. And Lyme is part of that. history. Well, her crew. As for the Lyme herself, the artist did some really good job with the character design. I absolutely like it. But I also noticed the design of her horns, which is also very interesting. Well, overall character design, I have to say, really caught my attention, but also is her personality. When I was looking into Lyme's history, what is closely tied to the Blackbeard, HMS Lyme 1695 actually went so much, how should I put it, action, battle after battle, and then after some modifications, if I recall correctly. And then she went through a lot, so no wonder she is something like justice loving personality, and she wants to protect Commander as perfect as she can. And if I now recall correctly, she also tries to improve herself to be more efficient for the Commander's sake. And during the event, she also got her own skin. Now, that was not moving skin, but if you have Lyme and her skin, don't underestimate, because there is a hidden function that actually, I have to say, I approve. Now, how is Lyme in Azur Lane? Let's find out. Alongside, well, Lyme starts very Vanguard type of amount of HP, amongst other Tempesta ships. I'm trying to compare her to other Tempesta ships, my best efforts. Lyme has in level 120 HP, 4671. Her firepower is 252. Her reload is 181. Her speed, evasion is 69. Her armor is light. Her speed is 29. It's not bad. Her accuracy is 131. Her luck is astonishingly high. That is 80. And her oil cost is 11, thanks to her rarity. And she has two skills. Yes, 2 skills and augment module. Judgment of Spear and Sword. So, increases this ship's firepower and accuracy by 15%. Increases this ship damage dealt by 20% against enemies with less than 25% HP. Every 5 seconds, fires level 10 special shell, and every 20 seconds, fires level 10 special barrage. Damage of the shell and the barrage is based on the skill's level. Very standard and sounds really good. Offensive skill. Those enemies that have dropped HP to the point, something like Lyme is there to finish them off. And then we have Final Sacrament. This is the augment module, but I'm gonna read the original one here on the wiki. When the battle starts, Increases this ship evasion by 25% and damage dealt against medium armor. What? That was Augment module. When the battle starts, increases this ship evasion by 25% and deploys barrier lasting 30 seconds that can negate damage equal to 15% of this ship max HP. When the battle starts, if there's another Tempesta ship in your fleet, once per battle, when this ship takes damage that will sink her, this ship does not sink, recovers 10% of her max HP and evades all damage for 3 seconds. When this effect activates, increases this ship's damage dealt by 10% and decreases her damage taken by 15% until the battle ends. Wow! Okay, final sacrament. Well, it is good that she got increases evasion 25% and deploys a barrier, but that lasts only 30 seconds, so personally that's not that good. But then again, I guess Illustrious also did the same thing to the Vanguard, but it depends on the every time she launches a plane, was it? And negate damage equal to 15% of this ship max HP. So like if you have max level 125 Lyme, her HP is 4780, took there 15%. She can take a couple of hits, that's fine. If you have other Tempesta ship in the same fleet alongside Lyme, let's just say her skill actually works kinda same way like Sightlets or the other ships that are behaving like a zombie ships. She was supposed to sink, but she refused to sink. She recovers, becomes invulnerable couple of seconds, and then goes on with the battle. So Lyme is resilient, I have to say. And she takes okay, let me recorrect myself. Recovers 10% of her max HP and evades all damage for 3 seconds. Evades all damage, that's good. When this effect activates, increase this ship damage dealt by 10% and decreases her damage taken by 15% until the battle ends. That's good. Sounds decently good enough. But when we go with the Ultimate Module version, let's see how much changes there. When the battle starts, increases this ship evasion by 25%, that's same. And damage dealt against medium armor enemies. Increases damage dealt against medium armor enemies by 10%. And deploys a barrier, lasting until the battle ends. That can negate damage equal to 15% of this ship max HP. That is good, I have to say. If enemies cannot... How was the original? Deploys barrier that lasts 30 seconds. And the new one is deploys barrier lasting until the battle ends. That is good. That is a great improvement to her barrier skill, I have to say. Great improvement. Once per battle, when this ship takes damage that will sink her, well, recovers. It's no longer 10%, it's 20% of her max HP. and evades all damage for 5 seconds, and when this effect activates, increases this ship damage dealt by 10% and decreases her damage taken by 15% until the battle ends. Holy moly, this Tempesta ship is going hard for survivability. And she also has all-out assault skill. Every 20 times the main guns are fired. So, yeah, I don't know. Every 20 times. Anyway, HMS Lyme. From the get-go, I have to say, she sounds very impressive at the paper. But how she behaves in battle is all that matters the most. Now the review is done, we're gonna go with the voice-over version, and I will see you there. Hello guys, voice-over Lucky Man here, and HMS Lyme. Well, Tempesta Lyme. My opinions. Well, if you look at the paper, even her argument module, she seems to be doing fairly well. And some of her skills also requires to have the other Tempesta ship alongside the fleet. Which I would definitely take Queen Anne's Revenge or Pearl with her. Now, as for the overall ship, well, she is tanky at least. But alongside with the other Tempesta ships, if I can actually think about anyone else, there's the Royal James. I think we need to take a look at her in the future as well. Well, all I can say is Royal James and Lyme's HP difference is very noticeable, so Lyme is more tankier. But when it comes to the other Tempesta ship, something like Fancy example, okay, I have to be honest. She has more HP than Fancy, but that is compensated by skills and barriers. So she actually can win against Fancy. Oh, there is also Portsmouth Adventure. Portsmouth Adventure. False swords. Well, let's just say if 125 Lyme has 4,780 HP, Portsmouth HP is just 3,046. Whoops! she is falling behind for sure. Anyway. Oh, Golden Hind. Almost forgot the Golden Hind. Oh, Golden Hind also seems to have less HP, only 3,192. Adventure Galley. Oh my, that's close one. Adventure Galley, despite being elite, has 4,391. That's a close one, I have to say. So, is there anyone who can actually beat Vanguard? Well, excuse me, Lyme. Well, Lyme. She seems to be, in my opinion, thanks to her skills, very survivable Tempesta ship. Vanguard ship. Atop the cake. So, what I can say. My personal opinion, if you have Lyme, then congratulations, is the survivable ship that Tempesta has to offer in Vanguard. But on the overall usage, well, I guess I have to repeat myself again. You need help from other factions if you're gonna plan to use Tempesta ships in main campaign. You're gonna need to build a fleet where Tempesta ship can actually survive in map 14 and 15 if you plan to use them there. Because of Lyme has now barriers that can actually make her survive just a bit longer. Doesn't mean she is the most survivable ship, because I also want to point out what I can remember based on my experience last time actually was in main campaign. They shoot a lot. HE Lyme is light armor. So like when the high explosive ammo hits Lyme, she's not gonna survive long, despite her skills making her best to survive just a bit longer. As for her augment module, Blessed Tempesta decreases this ship damage taken from aircraft by 25% when the battle starts, decreases this ship damage taken by 10% for 40 seconds. Okay, that's a good one. She can also take less damage from planes, also 10% less damage just for 40 seconds, so you're basically racing against the clock to make sure Lyme doesn't die. Oi boy. Oh my. So, first of all, I highly recommend to actually upgrade her cannons. Something a lot better. Something like super rare old heavy cannon, or something like that 12-inch variation from the core shop. So you can actually activate her barrage more often, because if I recall correctly, that 12-inch, was it? 12-pounder? 12-pounder shoots a lot faster compared to this old heavy cannon, if I recall. So, yeah, she can survive if you have correct build-up in the fleet. But if you take her, well, I have to be honest, I would never take her to the map 15, because that place requires stupid amount of anti-air, and every anti-air you can actually muster requires the whole fleet. So Tempesta has 0 anti-air. Yeah, not gonna happen, Captain. Not gonna happen, sir. That's just that's just a dream. You can actually forget it. Map 14, perhaps. It still requires some amount of anti-air thanks to those random planes that shouldn't be there for some reason. Well, anywho, amongst what best Vanguard ship Tempesta can offer, Lyme is a deal. She has more HP, she has some tankiness over there, and also if you have something like chest full of treasure, spawns treasure chest. While this treasure chest is on the battlefield, every 5 seconds a random ship in your fleet recovers 10 HP. It's not good, but still can also give some reload and also HP to the owner. Also grape shot that increases firepower and then hit ratio. During battle decreases the reload and accuracy of enemies within 30 units of the wearer by 3.5%. That's not bad. It sounds decently good. Also stale component is also important. So like, if you have, I can recommend Lyme. I can recommend Lyme. But taking her to the stage or map pieces that requires anti-air, again, as I repeated, it's not recommended. And that's why I am making a wish that probably map 16 requires 0 anti-air at this point, because we have ships that has no anti-air, and we have plenty of ships that are lacking anti-air. It all requires the equipment you have for them. The only thing requires either pure torpedo or brute force in map 16, I hope, in the future, if that ever happens. For some reason, main campaign always loves to make you build this stupid amount of anti-air, and I absolutely hate it. Now that we have Tempesta ships, that's gonna not help at all the situation and my relationship to main campaign. But she's a good ship, she has a good skin, she's a good design. Good Vanguard Tempesta has to offer. Now then, what is your opinion about okay, let me fix that. What is your overall opinion about Tempesta and Lyme? Leave comments down below. And thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy weekend or happy day when you are gonna watch this. And I see you next one.